Welcome to the Brushless Flight Channel. The format for today's program is a brief story behind the art. The piece behind me is titled Bandits Evaluate, and it depicts a day in the life of United States Navy strike fighter pilot. The era is 2019, and the event depicted is the self-escort strike. The flight is being conducted in the ranges surrounding Naval Air Station Fallon, Nevada. The Navy does a lot of strike warfare training there, and it's an amazing place to fly. Today's program has a short lead-in to set the stage and identify the main players. Then there's a brief coverage of the palette knife technique I used to create the snow-covered mountains. After that, I'll walk you through the events depicted in the painting to try to give you an understanding of just how complex pulling off such an event is. And I'm only scratching the surface. Here we go. The target ranges in Fallon, Nevada are some of the best equipped that naval aviators get to train in. Open airspace, realistic threat simulations, and live bombing ranges allow end-to-end strike warfare training. The event depicted would take place in restricted area 4804 Alpha, located 25 nautical miles southeast of Naval Air Station Fallon, Nevada. And it would be utilizing the target complex known as Bravo 17. This is a bird's eye view of the target area and the specific area that will be attacked today. The Hammer flight is a section of FA-18E Super Hornets. Hammer 1-1 is from the VFA-143 Pukin Dogs, and Hammer 1-2 is a weapons school instructor acting as a wingman. Viper 1 is a Naval Strike and Air Warfare Center adversary pilot, flying the F-16. Snake 5 is a VFC-13 Saint adversary pilot in the F-5. The mission is to take a laser-guided training round, like you see being loaded here, and put it on target on time in a precision strike. The forward part of the laser-guided training round behaves like a real weapon, and in-flight characteristics are equitable to a 1,000-pound laser-guided bomb, but the body is inert. For this piece, I don't have full art process coverage, so I'll just flow into it with a few points. First, I put together a graphite pencil drawing to get the composition worked out. Then I did some modeling, utilizing appropriate model, and you can kind of see how that turned out to get my geometry ironed out as I fade in and out there. I then put together a 16 by 20 practice canvas, primarily because I needed to work out the palette knife technique that I would use for the mountains and the snow in the mountains. That was a new skill set for me. You can see I had a little fun with the practice canvas. I put the tank on fire and the Russian MiG-29 on fire in the background. Then added the touch of the MiG pilot throwing his helmet at his vanquisher. The palette knife technique worked out quite well on the practice canvas, and now you can see me applying it to the main canvas, which is 34 by 24. I really like how it came out. I think it looks pretty awesome. That's all the painting technique that I have for this piece. And now what I'm going to do is narrate through the entire scene, and you get a really good understanding of why I named it Bandits Evaluate. It's time on target plus 12 seconds. The spotting charges from the laser-guided training rounds are indicating good hits on the intended targets, the POL facility, and the SAM site. The range's video debrief confirmed this. Hammer 1-1 and Hammer 1-2 are egressing low and fast to the south. It's not optimum, but post-weapons release, Hammer flight was engaged by simulated surface-to-air missiles lighting up their radar warning receivers. In addition, inert SAM simulators, Smoky SAM training rounds, leave a trail of smoke rising from the hills just east of the target. Hammer flight's high G defensive maneuvers drove them to the low-altitude environment for their egress. Hammer 1-1 initiates his off-target communication with his controller call sign, Mike. Mike, Hammer 1-1, range 18515, track south, picture.
Hammer 1-1, Mike, picture clean, green south.
Hammers flow 180. Bandits evaluate. And there it sits, hanging in the airwaves like a ripe peach left to marinate in the sun. The question waiting to be answered. Bandits evaluate. Hammer 11 pinned on his wings of gold 2.5 years ago and was assigned the FA-18E. A year and a half ago, he finished his fleet replacement squadron training and was assigned to the Pukin Dogs of VFA-143. The name easily arrived at when viewing the winged griffin which adorned the squadron's patch and aircraft's tail. Now, at 1.5 years into his Nugget fleet tour, he's ready to fly his Strike Fighter Weapons and Tactics Level 3 check flight and earn his section lead qualifications. His wingman today, Hammer 12, is a topgun grad and a Strike Fighter Weapons instructor. This event, the Self-Escort Strike, is designed to test Hammer 11's thoroughness in briefing, executing, and debriefing all elements of the Strike Fighter mission. It is the culmination of a year and a half of study and part-task training to include simulator and flight events. Key to this process is the endless hours honing briefing, recall, and debriefing skills. It's been a busy 18 minutes since the fight's on call. Hammer 11 and his instructor wingman had already fought through a 2-ship of bandits in a beyond visual range engagement, which was followed by a pop-up group of deck launch interceptors, which required a visual ID. Clearing that threat, he focused on the timing problem to ensure they arrived with bombs on target at TOT plus or minus 10 seconds. Then the surf stare threat came to life in the target area. This has brought Hammer 11 to this moment in time, 550 plus knots at 200 feet AGL, screaming across the desert floor in full afterburner, burning JP5 at a rate of 1,600 pounds per minute. The FA-18E Super Hornet continues to accelerate, but for Hammer 11, time seems to slow down. A cool stillness washes over him. It's the kind of stillness of mind experienced by those few who perform their very best when the very best is demanded of them. At this moment, unknown to Hammer 11, Viper 1, the Blue F-16, has picked up a wingman of opportunity, Snake 5, a brown F-5, and they are putting together a game plan over the back radio channel, Bandit Common. RTO Viper, confirm Hammer 11 is on the left side. Affirmative. Hammer 11, east contact. Viper, roger. Viper, target east target. Snake 5, target west target. At this point, Hammer 11 has taken note of the fact that his request, Bandits evaluate, has not received an answer. Although mere seconds have passed, that peach in the sun is getting a bit overripe. Hammer 11 is just about to rekey the mic when Strike Common Frequency crackles to life. Bandits recommend continue. Hammer 11 is snapped back to the reality that he was blissfully unaware of only a split second ago. Ouch. Clearly, there's an uncalled bandit group still in the fight. Hammer 11 acknowledges the continue call. He was anticipating a recommend terminate call from the bandits, indicating that all training objectives had been met, but that peach was left hanging in the sun, no takers. The fight is definitely still on. Bandits have one more trick up their sleeve. Viper 1 takes a radar lock on the wingman Hammer 12. Hammer 12 chimes in. Hammer 12 spiked. Hammer 12 is targeted. Hammer 11 mentally wheels through his tactical Rolodex. What follows is the flawless execution of the delousing game plan, cleaning up the remaining bandits. Knock it off, knock it off. Fighters knock it off. Bandits knock it off. It's all in the day's work for United States Navy Strike Fighter Pilot.
Well, I hope I was able to give you a little bit of an idea of what it's like to be United States Navy Strike Fighter Pilot, flying an F-18E in the training ranges out in Fallon, Nevada. Yeah, I know he's a little bit low, but let's face it, low paints better. The era is about 2019 when this flight would have happened, Nowadays, we've brought on board the F-35, and as a Cat 5 airplane, that has incredibly more capability. So I'm not sure if that mission gets conducted exactly like this anymore. So someday, I do hope to bring on an F-35 pilot, and he can go ahead and show us a thing or two about what they're doing today with that airplane. Hope you enjoyed it. Fly safe, have fun.